Hello and welcome to the Learning Crypto YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I identified the entry into this near protocol trade you can see on the screen, currently running around 400% profit. I'll also show you some other higher time frame entries that I still think look really good, considering things have already moved up quite a bit already. And towards the end of the video, I'll also go through some intraday trades that you might be able to take advantage of, including those that we've put in the Learning Crypto Traders Lounge. So if you want to find out more about that, stick around. But for now, let's get straight into the charts. So the last time I covered near protocol on this channel was back on the 16th of February. I did a video called Top 3 Altcoins to Buy, and I was talking about the BTC pairs, and near protocol was one of those. This was back in the USDT pair. We were trading around sort of, I think it was about $3.20-ish, basically talking about the fact that we'd had this big impulse, broken this weekly level here about $2.60 odd. We'd pulled back, hit the 618 on the fib, I believe it was, and we'd started a second leg up. So how did I identify this trade entry? So it was as simple as we've got this clear level of weekly support and resistance here at $3.79. You can see it's been support and resistance all the way through NIR's history, a very, very clean level. And most recently, we had rejected it here back on the 23rd, so the week of the 18th, 25th of December, and the opening 2 weeks of January as well. So strong resistance. We also tested it on the 19th of Feb before finally breaking above it on the week of the 26th. So I knew that if we were going to get a retest of that level $3.79, there's a strong chance it was going to hold and be a really good buy area. So knocking it down to the daily, the opportunity came. You could see from the 28th of Feb all the way through till the 5th of March, we were holding it as support on the daily time frame, which gave us confluence as support as well as the weekly time frame. And on that big crash that we had, a bit of a liquidity grab as opposed to a crash, but we had that flash dump on the 5th of March, and I was just fortunate enough to be at the laptop when that occurred. So if we drop it down to the 4 hour, I managed to jump onto the laptop after this big wick here, and I saw that we'd closed back above that weekly level of $3.79, and I thought, well, this is a perfect entry, or maybe not quite perfect, of course, if you manage to nail the bottom, but in terms of risk reward and having a clearing validation, I thought this is a great entry right on the weekly level. You can put a stop loss just above the wick that we've caused already today, and I think I got in at around $3.90, as you saw by the screenshot back at the beginning of the video, and jumped in there and haven't looked back since, as you can see. Now if we take a look at the weekly level in terms of taking profit, certainly looking at taking some profit here at around $6.98, $7. You can see this is another huge level of weekly support and resistance all the way through NIR's history. Again, very clean level. You can draw it anywhere sort of between these weekly candle closes back from April 2021, and then all the way up to these weekly candle closes here at the bottom of these candles around $7.29. So anywhere sort of between $6.80 and $7.20, in and around that area. Of course, you've got the psychological level of $7. So the reason I'm keeping it open is, one, we may well smash through this level. It looks very similar to Sol on the higher time frame. So if we just quickly flick through to there, look what Sol did with this big level of resistance here at $77, smashed through it, came back down, retested support, and went again. And it's looking to do the same at this level at $137 as well. Clean level of support and resistance. We've already broken through it, already retested at support. So I'm just wondering whether NIR does the same thing at this level at $7. Bearing in mind, it's got the AI narrative lead in with it, and we've also got that NVIDIA conference coming up as well. So I'm thinking about holding on to this and possibly jumping out if we do get a weekly candle close back below $7 and we reject this level of resistance. In plenty of profit, quite happy to let this one ride. So speaking of other trading opportunities, let's get into them so you can see them here on the list. So we've got Matic. So covered this a little while ago as well, talking about the range that we're currently in. I think we were down here at around this mid-range. I talked about how well we'd been holding above this level, which was a good sign, and looking for a rally up to the weekly range high. We've now broken above that weekly range high, as you can see, at $1.17. We've already retested it at support so far this week, and we're only what, 1 or 2% away from 3% away from the weekly range high for the quote unquote perfect entry. I think it's a great entry here. We've not really moved that much off the weekly range high. Your targets could be from here up to this weekly level around $1.50 is 23% away. Next level, you've got a clear level here at $1.73, which is 44% away. And then finally, back up to all-time highs. If you had a low leverage or a spot trade, you're still looking at about 140%, which is still a decent gain. And once again, your invalidation could just be simply a weekly close back below that range high of $1.17. The risk reward, I think, is fantastic. So Matic looks like a good trade to me. And of course, when ETH does well, Matic tends to do well as well, although not the case today. But I think that is a great risk reward trade. Also, XRP. Now, a lot of people are throwing a bit of shade at XRP. It's not a very big mover in this cycle at all. However, what I would say to that is that you obviously want to be jumping on these things before they move, much like the Polkadot ecosystem that I talked about last Monday. We'll go through that in a minute, but you want to be jumping on things before they move rather than jumping on them when they've already moved a lot. And XRP, as you can see, is yet to move, and it does look like a good setup on the higher time frame. So once again, similar to Matic, we've got back above this weekly mid-range, holding above it well. We've just got to clear this resistance here at about 66 cents. Then it looks like a clear path right up to that weekly range high of 86 cents, and then break above that, and we're heading for $1.23 and then possibly all-time high. So if we take a look at what the risk reward is here, if you jump in early before you wait for this confirmation of a weekly candle close above that weekly level at 66 cents, it's close to 40% to the weekly range high, which isn't too bad. Next target for me would be up here at $1.22. You can see these candle body closes up here on the weekly, and that's doubling your money at 100%. And then back to all-time high is still a pretty decent, 216%. So not a bad risk reward at all. And again, easy invalidation is just a weekly candle close back below that weekly mid-range. Very, very good risk reward. And as I say, jumping on something before it's moved, you're going to get better returns. So although XRP might not look that favorable at the moment, you never know when that capital rotation is going to happen and someone with deep pockets picks up on this trade setup. So let's see how that goes. Now, speaking of what I talked about in last week's video, last Monday, I talked about the Polkadot ecosystem, and I thought that that was going to be next to see some capital inflow. Well, this is what's happened so far with Moonbeam. So you can see I've got my labels mixed up here, but that's the mid-range, that's the range low, and 51 cents is the range high. You can see we've got that really bullish candle wick on the weekly time frame last week. We closed above that weekly range high around 51 cents, and now we're starting to break out. And my target, as I spoke about last week, first one would be up here about 85 cents, which from today, looking at about 25%. So as I say, you want to jump on these things before they move. And the reason I bring your attention to Moonbeam is because Moon River is yet to move. And this was another trade setup that I talked about in that video last week. So exactly the same setup. It's not moved yet. We've had that nice bullish retest of $20. As you can see, it's holding above that $20 weekly level of support. If we just get back to the regular chart here, zoom out. And as I talked about in that video last week, the fact still remains. A rally back up to these previous highs from December is 86%. You can see that lines up quite nicely with that $44 area with those candle body bottoms there and that candle wick. So that's 44%. And then up the next TP for me would be up here around $89, $90, which is 275%. So as I say, looks like a really good setup on the higher time frame. Dots moved, Moonbeams moved. I think Moon River could be next, and as I say, holding that higher time frame level support. You want to be getting into these things before they move. So they're the higher time frame setups. Let's get into the intraday setups and talk about the Learning Crypto Premium Traders Lounge. So what is the Learning Crypto Traders Lounge? It's essentially the trading side of our Learning Crypto Premium service, which aims to teach people how to trade for themselves. We have courses, live streams, community chat, and of course live trade setups all on Discord, which is easily accessible on your desktop, mobile or tablet. For more information, check out our website at learningcrypto.co.uk or follow the link in the description below. We look forward to seeing you in there. So this is a trade we've entered in the Traders Lounge. As you can see, we're on the 4-hour time frame on Rose. So this was one we did over the weekend. So we identified this key level of resistance here at 17.2 cents. Clear resistance. We finally popped up above it. What's that? The 8 o'clock candle on Saturday morning. So we put an order in on this 4-hour level of support at about 17.2 cents, as you can see. And then we've rode it all the way up to this TP1 here, which is this resistance at 18.3 cents, which as you can see, we've rejected so far. We've taken TP1, our stop loss is at break even. We're now hoping for a break of this resistance and then riding it up to just going to front run 20 cents slightly, TP at 19.9 cents. So nice little trade there, just a clear example of resistance flip to support. And now looking to ride it higher. Stop loss is irrelevant now as stop loss is at break even. So nice way of protecting some capital, taking some money off the table here at TP1. That is running quite nicely. Let's take a look at some other trades that you may be able to take advantage of over the coming days. So this is ADA on the 4-hour time frame. Again, clear level of resistance here at 75.7 cents. As you can see, we deviated back here on last Monday, and it's been heavy resistance ever since. So 4-hour close above that, I'd be looking at longing. And in terms of TPs, you can take a fib, go from the high down to that low that we got back on the 5th of March. And I think some TP areas, you can look at the 1.272, which is about 86 cents, and the 1.618 at about 95 cents. Or if you're going very low leverage or spot, up to $1, which is that weekly time frame level of resistance. If we just flip to the weekly there, and again, like what we talked about with Sol and Nia, we've flipped this key level of weekly resistance at 66 cents, retested at support. So I think the path for ADA to go higher is pretty clear. Let's move on to DOT, another intraday trade. Go down to the 4-hour time frame. So this is one I don't think we're going to get filled on, unfortunately. We've already put the order in. Again, we flipped this level of resistance here at $10.54 on the 4-hour time frame. We'd already tested the next level resistance here at $10.94. I was hoping for a pullback into this level. We haven't got it. So if we get 4-hour close above this, I may look at jumping in on this trade and just going for the pre-planned TP2, which is the fib extension of the 1.618. And how I got that, simply grab the fib like I just did with ADA, go from the low to the from the high to the low. In fact, I think I used that high there, as you can see, and you get that 1.618 just there at about $11.75. So as I say, either wait for that pullback down to $10.54, or if we get 4-hour close above $10.94, then we can jump on that. Hopefully that holds as support and we go for another leg higher. And then finally, Sol, as you can see, having trouble with this $149 level on the 4-hour time frame. So a 4-hour close above that, looking at for that to flip as support, and again looking for higher prices. Again, have to go for a fib extension as we haven't got any local data in terms of TP. So from the high down to the low, the extensions, you got the 1.272 here at about $157 and the 1.618 up here at about $163. So let's see what happens over the next couple of days. Hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of those and make a little bit of profit. As I said, if you want to find out more about the Learning Crypto Traders Lounge, check out our website, learningcrypto.co.uk. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors at Blowfin Exchange, who are offering an exclusive offer of 500 USDT cashback only if you use our link in the description below. A great alternative exchange, open to UK users and no KYC. So check that out. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you on Friday for the next video.